On first looking into Chapman's Homer. Much have I travelled in the realms of gold, and many goodly states and kingdoms seen. Round many western islands have I been, which bards in fealty to Apollo hold. Oft of one wide expanse had I been told that deep-browed Homer ruled as his demesne. Yet did I never breathe its pure serene, till I heard Chapman speak out loud and bold. Then felt I like some watcher of the skies, when a new planet swims into his ken, or like stout Cortez, when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific, and all his men looked at each other with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien. All right. The rhetorical situation and the speaker. Keats gives us a very good idea about this speaker. This expression, much have I traveled, is a common poetic trope, and it is used widely across Western poetry to indicate that the bard, right, the poet speaker, is a traveler who has been in this or that kingdom with this or that court, so widely experienced, full of stories about all of these different places and these rich and exotic lands. So he's situating himself as a bard, right, a speaker, one who travels from place to place and is offered the comforts of the court and usually feasted, and sings for his dinner, if you like, sings for his supper, tells stories to the court, sings songs to the court, is the entertainment for the evening or for however long the bard stays. So that's the rhetorical situation that we are given, and we know from the title that Keats was offered a translation. He says Homer, so either the Iliad or the Odyssey, perhaps both, that Chapman translated. Chapman's translations are from, I think, the 17th century. And if you've, I mean, we have examples in modern days, if you are one who enjoys reading the Iliad or the Odyssey. We know that these are poems that come to us from millennia ago that were written in Greek, my goodness, more than 2 millennia ago, closer to something like 2.5 or 3. So they were written in Greek, and so there are multiple translations in all the languages of the world. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them, right? Dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of languages. These poems have been translated into. And the translations are different, and you can, I mean, yourself, easily go online, for example, and look at different translations of the book of Genesis in the Bible, or different translations, if you like, of Homer. They're available online these days, and you can compare them. And some of the translations appeal more to one reader or another than others. So, okay. Much have I travelled in the realms of gold, and many goodly states and kingdoms seen. Round many western islands have I been, which bards in field to Apollo hold. So this these 4 lines, right, ending with a period. So he's given us, and this is a Petrarchan sonnet, so you can see the rhyme scheme is ABBA, meaning gold rhymes with hold and seen rhymes with been. And that is the way that sonnets are held together. The rhyme scheme creates units of meaning, and the first unit in a Petrarchan sonnet is, well, any kind of sonnet really, kind of sets the stage. It lets you know where you are and what is going on or what concept will be treated. Let's look at the next grouping. Oft of one wide expanse had I been told that deep-browed Homer ruled in his demesne. Homer ruled, right, in his domain. Meaning, of course, for a poet that Homer ruled. Was the greatest, considered the greatest of the poets. Yet did I never breathe its pure serene till I heard Chapman speak out loud and bold. Is Chapman literally speaking out loud? No. Chapman has been dead for a couple hundred years before Keats, well, 100 years before Keats encounters his work. So when he says that Chapman is speaking out loud and bold, what he is saying is that Chapman's translation of Homer gives one a very immediate sense of what is going on. It has to do with his translation style, that he finds Chapman very approachable and exciting, and gives a feeling of presence. Then felt I like some watcher of the skies when a new planet swims into his ken. Now he is comparing himself. I felt like, right? He's using a simile here. He's got the word like. I felt like some watcher of skies. Well, an astronomer, yes, when a new planet swims into his ken. So it gives us the sense of discovery there, that astronomers are discovering objects in the sky. Or like stout Cortez, when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific. Okay, Cortez is one of the Spanish explorers. He has apparently confused Cortez with Balboa, but Cortez is more widely known, and also it probably fit his rhyme scheme better. So, like stout Cortez, when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific, and all his men looked at each other with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien, a region of Panama. So he's comparing himself on the one hand to an astronomer, and on the other hand to the Spanish explorers, which is to say that Chapman's translation of Homer opens up a whole land of discovery for him. Okay, so there's a reading of Keats.